Chelsea and Arsenal battle to a dramatic draw, a 90 minutes of pure tension. Chelsea struck first, controlled the tempo, and looked on course for all 3 points, but Arsenal refused to die. A late equaliser flipped the script, leaving Stamford Bridge shocked.
Details team like Arsenal would be devastated to concede in that manner by the same token.
It will just show the fact he wants to leave in Gabriel back as quick as possible, because I felt throughout the whole game, it's probably the most vulnerable Arsenal were. You know, at times Chelsea found it comfortable, you know, when they're attacking them in times, and there was a lot of mistakes from the centre-halves as well at times. No one really showed the leadership skills in that sense to get control of the players and the play, and it didn't look as organised. And I think that would be the worry, looking in an Arsenal sense. But look, it's a point which, yes, you look back at it now, you would have taken it, of course. However, they'd be disappointed they conceded from a set piece, and it's a bit of their own medicine, isn't it?
Reece, well played. A real battle of a London derby. That you're pretty proud on the whole of the way you pushed them to the limit today.
Yeah, it's obviously disappointing, you know, to come away with only 1 point. You know, we went down to 10 men pretty early in the game, and you know that made it difficult. I felt, you know, we had a lot more of the ball when it was 11v11, and yeah, going down to 10 made it more difficult.
Yeah, and God, that really says something that you stood here disappointed against a team like that, given that they had that man advantage for so long. Does that tell you about the progress you've made? No,
I think everyone can see, you know, where we are, what we are fighting for. I think today was, you know, a big statement. You know, even though we wanted to win, you know, there's lots of positives to take from that.
How were you able to give them so many problems tactically in that first sort of 30, 40 minutes before obviously Caicedo got the red card?
No, we worked hard. There's a lot of, you know, analysis and, you know, hard work from the managing staff that, you know, sets us up the right way and wants us to, you know, play and perform in a certain way that, you know, he thinks will hurt them.
Physically, in that midfield particularly, did it feel like a game on the edge? Looking from the sideline, it almost felt like a red card was maybe inevitable in that match.
I mean, if you look at the amount of yellows there were, I thought there was, you know, going to be one more red. You know, there was so many.
Even after Caicedo,
yeah, there was, you know, maybe 7 or 8 players, you know, on yellows throughout, you know, both.
Why do you think that was?
Oh, it's a London derby.
Right.
You know, everyone wants to win this game.
Daft question.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy the battle in that midfield? There was a time where it was, you know, maybe last season, unusual to see you in there, but now, look, I'm going to give you the Player of the Match award in a minute or two. So you're able to match top players and run a game now.
No, I think, you know, Arsenal are, you know, they've been at the top for the last few years. You know, playing them is, you know, we knew it wasn't going to be easy, and no, their midfield is, you know, is tough. But you know, we done what we could today and tried to, you know, play our game and, you know, hurt them off the ball.
Yeah. Did you get a view of the red card for Moises?
No, I haven't seen it back. So no, I have no comment on that.
Fine. What did the manager say at half time about reshaping you?
No, he changed, you know, the formation slightly. You know, we knew we wasn't, you know, going to have the ball as much, and they was going to come, and we had to, you know, soak up the pressure and try and catch them, you know, on the counter, which, you know, we did a few times, but, you know, we didn't have the final touches.
Yeah, and as you said already, though, despite the disappointment, a statement performance matching them like that.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm proud of the boys. It was, you know, electric, you know, here at Stamford Bridge today, and, you know, we take a point and move forward.
Well done, Reece. You are, as I said earlier, the player of the match.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, mate.
Yes, well done to Reece James, player of the match today. How pleased can Chelsea be with that performance, and how pleased can Reece James be with his own performance today?
I think firstly for Chelsea, they'll be very pleased. I think the manager will be in that dressing room congratulating the players for sticking to the task and understanding it was a naive tackle by Caicedo, but how focused they were to ensure that Arsenal weren't going to get clear chances. They worked tirelessly as a team. Everybody, every last one of them gave absolutely everything, and that's what it's all about. In order to be successful, you've got to sacrifice yourself as an attacker, for sure. When you've got 10 men, it's important for you as one of the attackers to not necessarily think about scoring goals, and usually you'd reserve your energy to score goals, whereas in this case you reserve your energy to defend and ensure that you're making it difficult for the opposition. As for Reece James, I mean, we're talking about a player who's been in the first team environment now for many years and has become a senior player for this group. He's been at the club nearly 20 years and struggled with injuries throughout his career, specifically over the last couple of years. But there's no doubt he's an absolutely unbelievable football player. The versatility he brings to this team, the set pieces that he can bring, he's got all the tools to be able to play in midfield and to play right back. He was an absolute beast today. Gave him so much running power in midfield. It was a very, very experienced and professional performance from him, and he played very, very well.
We were saying, Theo, there aren't many players with England who play in one position for their club and another for their country.
Yes, it's brilliant.
Unique right now.
It's very unique, and as well, it's a great, not problem, but it's another option that obviously Thomas Tuchel can have in certain games, because his delivery itself, set pieces, which are so important for a lot of clubs and a lot of national teams these days. But what I'm really pleased to see in his development is his growth and his leadership skills, because he's obviously been questioned in the past about is he a leader, is he a captain? He clearly is on today's performance. You're playing against Declan Rice and they have 𝗂𝗂 next to him, and he's player of the match. For me, looking at the Arsenal sense, they'd be disappointed and they didn't test him enough. But like, he was absolutely outstanding today. He really was, from start to finish.
The game was really in the balance, wasn't it? I suppose the sense was that Arsenal were going to push for a winning goal, having equalised with half an hour to go. We had to wait, really, Theo, until the last seconds of the game for this moment. What has happened here is 𝗂𝗂 surely has got to be screaming at Timber to get out of the way of that.
This is when you get desperate towards the end of games and you want to obviously commit loads of bodies forward. You always feel, though, if a right back's in this position, I would be asking questions 𝗂𝗂's now. I'll be pulling him and just saying, look, this is my space. This is why I'm on the pitch. But look, he's been doing it all season, but just, yeah, he'd be disappointed with that. No doubt of that. I think we wouldn't see that. But it just annoys me when players are just out of position. But like, I understand why Arsenal committed so many bodies, but that's what they faced today, and it was disappointing on their side.